Yeah. Mute. Share screen.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna go love on.
It's less pressure than.
Live in 60 seconds.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And then if I step back,
Does it look like
Yes.
Yeah, keep going.
You do what you gotta do. What you gotta do. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, here. I'm trying to like
Oh, I see it. Yes.
is that good?
No.
Stay here.
Mimi, she's finally home.
Was that
She's tired. Her thumbs up. She's tired. John, I'm tired. I miss you. I wish you were back at the dorm.
I started just filling all those sections. So I was like, homie, you could have
I
just
wish you were back at the dorm.
Why is it so hard? It's not. You're not in the notes anyway.
I want to sing higher.
There are sopranos that sing. But that's
No, I think
the sopranos.
no, I think you're right.
The ones
Katie, you look so cute.
sing will seem to sing the loudest.
I know. At a little off guard.
And I'm all for choirs always the best, but I like
So it's officially 7:15, and I figured that everyone who wants to be here is here now. So hello. Welcome to the third ever Rainbow Pages Quad Cities event. If you don't know us, we are a website for queer writers to contribute and find community, but these readings are for everyone, and I'm so glad you're here. Tonight we have a bunch of readers, so thank you guys for signing up and being brave. And as always, I tend to go first for these readings, just so everyone else doesn't have to be like, oh gosh, I'm first. So I will be reading, I'll be reading two pieces tonight. One from Rebecca Lee's poetry class, and then the other is something else that I wrote a long time ago. That's kind of like with the spring vibe, so I will just get into it. The first one is called National Poetry Month, which, surprise, is this month. Okay. Never afraid to imagine, engage, or show off my newfound adventure lens. Perhaps I can show you, or maybe you can explore the written word, try to sample the words like a restaurant. Yum, the words have bite. Must I say more on the subject? Nothing else is there to say to keep you, or nothing there is here to stay to keep you. Head on shoulders, pencil in hand, I take off and soar away now. Thank you. All right, and then this is one that I wrote. I might have wrote it for the Atlas, which is a Midwest Writing Center publication forever ago. Forever ago. Okay, it's called Bloomed. You, my beautiful curse, I faded into you like the moonshine sunset. The flicks of colored lunar flame engulfed me with love as we sat along the river. But besides those dreams and delights, at our core there is only decay. Words and false promises, different paths. My heart is being held together with shoestrings and twine. You were always meant to stay mine, but you were free-willed. I stuck in my ways. You saw the fork in the trail and went with the tide. I stayed stuck where my roots lie. We were dreamers, the kind that would converse with the stars and ask them where the fireflies would go to conduct business after hours. When the dawn peeked through the trees edging our ravine, I had built an ornate life for us to live. One with a porch swing and a garden where we could hear wind chimes and birds' song. 2 lemon iced teas sitting in champagne glasses on the side table would refresh us as we recounted tales of woodland creatures, or the spirit I found dancing near the stream on my afternoon walk. We'd have even planted a rose bush, as I know that they're your favorite. Eventually, when the weather was nice or the dishes got done, we'd watch as our buds blossomed into scarlet. Thorny but art, just like us. Thank you. But our next writer, I am pleased to announce a member of my writing team who is also in Rebecca Lee's poetry class. Give it up for Anna Picton.
Okay, this first one's called Ballad of Atwood. A girl trapped in a music box. She only dances when someone else opens up the lid, when someone else winds it. I long to shatter the confines of this box. Shards of crystal glass fall on the floor. Let the tinsel snow sweep out. She will no longer be the girl in the box, awake to the world, destined to shake the table, her radiant smile brightening where she dances, with her glistening snowy hair to affirm her worth. And that's my second one called Dear Children. Why are you treating your mother so poorly? I birthed you, supplied you with all your needs. Is this how you repay me? I have given you deep shadows of maple trees, whispers of passage through dry grass, water-laden leaves dripping off water, silver white moon hugs, thin clouds glimmering the sky blue, rough-skinned frogs in camouflage, and songs of blue jays. You cut off my arms and limbs, pound metal into my body, smother me with garbage, twirl smoke into my lungs, gasping for air into inky blackness. My pain stands out like a scar catching your notice, like the pain that causes it. Blow the smoke from my lungs into you, suck water like a straw. No waiting over, you can walk through me and still have dry feet. Violent storms will come with monstrous regularity until we are all ashes.
Thank you. So for those who don't know, there's poetry prompts in these eggs. So if you go up to read, you get to see some of my writing prompts. So our next reader is also another member of my writing team and former Rainbow Pages reader. Give it up for Mimi.
Okay, this first piece is a little short. It's called Rainbow Bridge. Friends of a lifetime shall be eternal. If one shall pass, the other shall wait until their time. Pain lingers in the soul as the absence continues. Years go by as their presence is longed for. As the time draws near, joy fills both of their hearts. This other one is called Broken Girl is Trying. She is traumatized and scared of her past. She balanced on I-beams above seas. She tries so hard to move on with her life, but she realizes she is pacing her way to the other side, risking her life with absurdity and death. With the action she is pulling, realizes it's a test, not mistaking anything for what it could be, assuming that everything is the same. That's not how it should be. She tries to take risks and be vulnerable. As she takes steps and stances, realizing she just might be tolerable, she advances toward the higher perch where beauty stands, and waits for gravity to start her death-defying leap. She is tired of carrying things with her hands. She has no idea what this life plans. She is a poet and an acrobat, climbing in rhymes and wires of her own making. She feels like she's been stomped on like a doormat. She wants to not feel the feeling of sorrow, but instead she wants to feel exhilaration. But the more she searches for her purpose, the more she realizes she is an empty air of existence.
Give it up again for Mimi and for Anna as well. It's really hard to be the first couple ones to go, so props to you both. Okay, I'm pleased to announce my friend and former workshop buddy Esther, who is competing in a poetry contest in a week. Yes.
Week.
Yeah.
A little over a day and a week, yes.
Do you want to explain it real quick?
So I will be performing at the Poetry Slam for the Iowa Poetry Association, April 19th up in Des Moines at 7:30 for Poetry Palooza. And I'll be reading 2 of the poems that I'll be reading there.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
Yay.
The first one I have memorized, the second one I don't. So, fabric phantasms. They're floating in that linen, which resembles a baby blue swimming pool, etching themselves, their old names, onto the walls with cracked fingernails. Was it Amanda or Jessica last night? It doesn't matter. There'll be a new one floating, tinting the color until it's red rust dust. They're licking the leather like lovers in the night. When the leather sticks so tightly, it's difficult to tell between flesh from fabric and which one is being ripped off. They're hiding in those fancy silks strutted out on blood-red carpets. They're familiar with the color. Some days they can still taste it in their teeth, the iron seeping into their gums. They're sticking to the lace, resembling crushed maggots or crystals, their favorite candy to huff in the back of the vans that they're dumped out of. They're dead in the denim. It's in the details, darling. If you look close enough, you can see the dripping denim stained trails leading to the broken bodies below at the bottom of the bridge. And then this next piece is titled Eat Them Raw. Eat them raw, the way they'll chew up our bodies until it becomes mush that boils up the machines they need to keep printing money for themselves. Eat them raw. And don't worry, I will waste not. Every body part will be gorged on, every morsel will be devoured. And there will be no evidence of what was, just a clean plate. Because we were told if we didn't clean our plates, it'd be rude to the children in other countries who starve. But what's rude isn't our lack of appetite, it's those ivory tower bitches feasting on excess. When I say I want to eat them raw, I mean I want a full 5-course meal with musk appetizer, Zuckerberg as the main course, and Bezos for dessert. Eat them raw, and we can't make exceptions in a time where it's an exception to walk down a city street and not see someone begging for their livelihood. So don't be surprised when you see me picking out pop stars from my teeth like popcorn kernels. Eat them raw because we can't afford anymore to wait for the meat to cook. If we want to have a salad for the world composed of their dollar bills, we have to dig in while the eating's good.
How to follow that up, to be honest. So up next, we have another one of my writing center buddies. Give it up for Elena Vallejo.
Hi everyone, this piece is a gay love letter to an Aztec goddess. So it's called A Love Letter to Talakatuli. When it rains, I sit in your lap. Clouds are too far to hold. The grass tickles my thighs. My sweet Talakatuli, your space in my bed is cold. Oh, what I would give to touch your skin once again. When I play in the meadow, do you feel me there? Are the trees your arms, your bones, your veins? Do you like my haircut? Do you remember what love feels like? I pray you do. They called you a beast, forgot your name, the one who devours life, they said, full of eternal hunger for deprivation, misled by dysfunction. Jealousy, the serpent split you in two. My love mutilated. My love mutilated. They left your skin in a ditch and the birds ate your eyes. I miss you. Your soft lips of destruction, your touch, the gentle meeting of one's horizons. No one else knows the pink hue around you, the bounce of thick hair twisted within my grasp under the anger of summer skies. Take me to Mexico City, between your lips is my tomb. The creation of your body, incarnation of bodies, my land and sky. Take the sun and hold it at night, then let it run in the morning. I desire each drop of your blood and you mine. My love, I will rewrite the story of your pain. Their cruel hands do not deserve to embrace your skin. They ripped you apart and salvaged each bone. I shout to them, love her now that she is gone. Worship her, send her your blood, blood she will lick but never love. She is the sky and the land, and you no more than lie between. Our earth now grows from your body. The hills and the valleys match the shape of your silhouette. and I can't help remember how you felt under me. I worship you, a deity made for me. Only as I am laid to rest into your soul will we be together again. Thank you.
We have another person signing around. The list can be located over there if you want to add your name. But our next reader is also another one of my campus writing team members. So there's been a theme. Give it up for Matt Winkle. Winkle?
Yes.
Yes, Winkle. So sorry.
Great. My piece does not have a title because that's always the most difficult part to come up with, so I just don't bother with it. Yeah. What does it mean to have a self? A question that haunts me, gnaws at me, fills my heart, and rumbles my soul as I stare into the sunrise that blinds me in the morning, bathed in orangey pinks. Everyone looks better in the golden light. How and why, and what does it mean? I fall for the self again and again I do so. How do I know that it is true? And what is it that makes the self? Hobbies, skills, traits, good or bad. If I help someone, am I good? If I hurt someone, am I bad? Can I call myself a skater, a singer, an artist, cringe or kind, heart or mind? I am cringe at heart, but I do see the heart. I poke fun at my interest just now, but it's proven true as I once more reassure that I see you. Fear and gentleness, the joy of being seen overwhelms the mortifying ordeal of being known. Warmth fills my room, illuminating all. I'll bask in the light and I'll fear the fall. Stand in a t-shirt that declares my interest. Concert sets I won't forget, video games and the internet, fragments of me that I project outwards, each a piece of myself. I am made up of song lyrics and fictional characters and personality pieces I stole from my friends. I pray you see the self I project through my haircut, and I've been putting forth a persona that you loved and nurtured, took under your wing, and I still do not know if I'm ever being genuine. For I do not make note of the sunsets for personal reasons, no. And when I chuckle at the concept of microwaves, it's not because of something I have experienced. I am made of others that I've absorbed and understood, but I think I'm okay with that.
Pleased to announce our next reader, also a writing team member. Give it up for Sheila. Okay, so this side is
Time to run.
Okay, I'm gonna bore you with two of my poems. No. So this first one doesn't have a title because titles are lame. Even the next one does, so that's fine. I've been the midnight rain for so long, I forgot how full of light I am. I am allergic to pomegranate, but for you, I would get out every seed. Let my hands get red and sticky, covered in the juice of my labor. We listened to the midnight radio and make cookies. I would wake up early just to squeeze you fresh orange juice. I would make you eggs and bacon every morning if you asked. I would make you gluten-full avocado toast, just the way you like it on the weekends as you sip your wine. For you, I would plant 100 cherry blossom trees and flowers so you could only see beautiful things. For you, I would give my rib. For you, I would give all of my good and all of my bad. If you asked me to, I would get you fresh milk every morning. If you asked me to, I would wake up early to write you poetry. If you asked me to, I would fill your life with color and song and dance. And if you asked me to, we could live our lives in complete silence. I'm flexible, bendable, dependable. I can be manipulated easily. You know this. Please use your power wisely. Because I melt so easily, like putty in your hands, and even though you swear that I am in control, I give so much of myself to you. Just as you do for me, this love is a two-way street. We give and we take, but for you, I would give everything in me. So that's the first one. The second one, I wrote this on International Women's Day, and I'm non-binary, so it's a fun day. And I wrote this about feeling alienated from womanhood. So it's just called womanhood, Titles are hard. Womanhood. What the fuck is it? People tell me that womanhood is getting your period when you're 13, or becoming a mother, or being socialized as a girl. People tell me that womanhood is the ability to carry your own children. Womanhood is a sacred, delicate practice. Womanhood is throwing back glasses of wine while bitching to my friends at brunch. Womanhood is difficult. Womanhood is hard for me because I do not feel like a woman. I am a woman. I will always be seen and perceived as a woman, but I'm not just some girl. I'm a person. I'm a human being that has been treated as less than because of how I was born. Being treated as a woman. Oh, I forgot to throw in. There's a trigger warning for mention of sexual harassment. Okay. Sorry. Being a woman is not having gender equality. Being a woman is being paid less than a man. Being a woman is being sexually harassed on the street at 10. Being a woman is beautiful and fucking terrible sometimes. Being a woman is difficult when I am not a woman. Being a woman is difficult when I'm feeling dysphoric in my body. Being proud of my womanhood is hard when I don't understand womanhood. Through your eyes, I'm just some bitch complaining, but in my eyes, I'm just a person struggling, getting called girl and her and she every single day, when on the inside, I do not feel that way. But the world will always see me as a woman because I have a large chest, because of the way that my body is structured and curves, the way that I bleed from the womb, the way that my voice is soft, sensitive, pretty. Being a woman is identifying as a woman, but to me, they're all just words that we made up. I am proud of the women in my life. I'm proud of everybody in my life. I'm inspired by women. I love women, but that does not mean that I want to be like women. I will always share the struggles of a woman, being born, being perceived as one, but at the end of the day, I really am just someone. Kayla, do you want to real quick plug your radio show? Oh, okay. Anyone else read their I have a radio show Friday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. on Blog FM where I play silly music and read silly poems and sometimes have guests.
I was on there a few weeks ago.
I've also been on there a few times.
Yeah.
I listened to it.
All right. Our next reader, I have not seen in it's been a couple years. So I'm super excited to hear you read again. Give it up for Morgan.
So I'm going to be reading a piece of flash fiction that I wrote in a workshop last summer. It also does not have a title because I also cannot title things, so it's labeled untitled. And there is a bit of a trigger warning for any addiction or anything, so if anyone would like to step out, I completely understand. Tonight, my brother takes me to where we'll meet up with his buddy. Friend since high school, he's a hazard of a man. Scrawny, anxious, has a habit of picking at his skin until it bleeds. Follows that by licking the blood from under his nails. And my brother offers him a napkin from his bag, and his friend crumples it, tosses it on the ground. And I know why my brother hasn't introduced me to his friend before. And I consider there wasn't much of a person to introduce to me anyways. But to my brother, here is a person nonetheless who drops his rigid posture. Says, like he anticipated the question from my brother, rehab set him up for failure. Filled him with propaganda. To worship a kind of hope he's never believed in. And he's shaking more now, probably because he didn't expect his answer to sound so rehearsed, even though it is. And he continues, still artificial and monotone, but with a little uncertainty this time, that he was made an addict for life, that he is more interesting outside of healing than within. When I catch his eyes for a second, his just as bloodshot as mine, and I realize he just saw himself in me. And I worry this is my brother's aim for us meeting, to show a lesser addict someone worse, to compare our hurt, to shout, this is how bad you will get and I need you to not get this bad. But I'm not paying attention anymore. I think this concrete looks beautiful in this light. And my brother puts his hand on my shoulder as if to guide me back into stories I've already lived myself. to warn me that indifference can't give me the new life he wants for me. And I shrug his hand off my body, a fuck you to him and a we should hang out on one of these corners in a couple of months to his strike. And I hope, one day, my brother will see me and his friend under the dim glow of these street lights and regret introducing us at all.
Thank you, Morgan. And then I'm back up here again. Up next is a new addition to our writing team and also current classmate. Give it up for Victoria.
So the piece that I'm reading is one that I did for class, and I turned it a while ago. And I felt like I was kind of hearing a theme going around a little bit tonight, so I wanted to read from this one. And then the title is Singing Rain, but titles are hard. Drenched in stardust, the memories are spilling through the dimples in my cheeks, running down a smile like mascara, the same way we ran from school. Anywhere. Drag my hand, sew me into untouched sidewalks like the roots that miraculously burst from beneath cement, and you never see it coming. The wheezy drivers claim school zones as racetracks, just a blink and they're gone, rushing past us like the blood in our veins, out of our veins. We can only imitate this absence with crystal bottles. Forgetting for a while all of the kids that scream at our faces when we are in their territory, who are trained to bark at us, like it is some sort of treat to see this death. I bury my makeup in her grave and push my lover into the couch like it's their coffin, ashamed to sleep with them, but not a rifle. Even though we don't live with parents anymore, the doors always stay locked. In the thundering rain, I remember to be quiet, using tar as lipstick, yelling hush.
Thank you, Victoria. I'm really excited for this next reader because it's actually Rebecca. We are professors, so give it up for Rebecca.
Well, I want to thank everybody for being here, for reading, for listening, for caring about words on the page, words in the air. It's just beautiful. It really is. So thank you for letting me be part of it. I couldn't find my own book and I can't memorize my own poems, and I too am bad at titles, so you're not alone. I always took comfort in, Emily Dickinson never titled anything, and had good reason for that. So you're in good company if you have trouble. You can also, if you know somebody who's good at titles, offer to pay them to write titles for you. Yeah, we've got some good titles. Yes. All right. Well, I have a poem called April, which I wrote many, many years ago, but I couldn't find it. So I'm going to read another kind of springtime poem titled Damage. It's an extended metaphor, and I think you'll figure out what's going on in there. So, she decided those years had been water vapor, condensed, then ruptured into an updraft, the mad air ascending, the vertical spin flicking like a bullwhip over a field. An inkling, a shimmying spine of wind. That's what it was like, she said. Volatile conditions. The air rolling horizontally like a pencil. Clouds the color of asphalt and moss. A disturbance first under the skin, then sibilance in the leaves, crescendo, ascent, as in ascent climbing, not a ascent. A colossal vessel of air, assembling, lifting off like spun smoke. The invisible, suddenly, utterly there, shapely, voracious, rising to wreckage. Metal, shingles, his things, hers, glass, and laceration. You do what it takes to keep yourself whole. In Andover, the sirens fail. Homes turn to shrapnel. Roofs tear off like flimsy lids, rooms empty into the sky. The Golden Spur Mobile Home Park, flattened, gone, a sink in the street, a nightstand with its shot of vodka. She said she'd heard that coins fuse in pockets, that potatoes bake where they lie in the earth. Cows fly by screaming. In springtime, the warm, sweet hours between noon and the first star are most unstable. A car hovers 3 feet over the ground in Wichita, and it's gone. Garage doors sail the streets like sheets of paper. A woman sits in a ditch beside a tractor, gathers herself, her watch gone, and her shoes. The tree at her feet blown to kindling. She swears before it spent itself, it turned scarlet. An elongated, seething heart, or a mouth devouring a nursery of geraniums. They don't touch down, you know, she said. They take everything with them. That was also an old one. I've been fascinated by storms all my life, and I feel very guilty about that because they do so much harm, and I have been lucky and not had anything destroyed. But my family lost a ranch in South Dakota, and I was pretty young at the time, but it was amazing to go there and see what had happened. And I don't think, well, I know that when I started writing it, I wasn't thinking of it as an extended metaphor for failing toxic relationships, but my friends had started to get divorced about that time in my life, and they're here. And I'll just read you one more because it's new and it's interesting to me. I got invited last spring to be part of the Sustainable Iowa Land Trust. I live across the river in Iowa. And our assignment was just to go, they were gonna assign us a plot of land, and we had to go and we had to write 3 poems in response to this place. So I went to this beautiful spot that I'd never seen before. It was called Phoenix Farm, and I titled it Begin Anywhere, which is a John Cage line. If you don't know how to start something, I just always love that. Begin anywhere. On the unspooling pale gravel roads then, with last autumn's milkweed husks waving us on to the end of Strawbridge Road in Iowa. Begin with rapid creeks crawl through this stretch of Midwestern spring. The air sparkles with goldfinch, sparrows, and wind. Begin then with wind and what it carries. In the rippling ditch grass, one tulip's red cup of light. To the left, a swath of small suns in the grass. So start with weeds and the drift of your feet, how they raise small clouds from the chalky road. There's no one to greet you, just the descant of 63 acres of coarse and tended pasture. Trees new and seasoned, hills stitched with itinerant fence lines. Insects so small you won't see them. A rooster's midday alert or oblation, then a nest of blue eggshells and open beaks in the beams of the bridge. Begin writing them down. Don't hassle the robin or massive oak that's worn the weather for 100 years. Begin where you stand, unruffled, alert in a burnished hour with this wonder you've come to, a bit of earth doing its thing around you. Begin with how happy you are. So there's your poem about spring, about writing. Thank you very much.
Before we get into our next batch of writers, do we have anyone else who hasn't signed up that would like to sign up? Yes. Meet us over in the corner if you'd like to sign up and haven't yet. There's one on the table. I hope everyone has been having fun so far.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna give give people like a 5-minute break to like get a drink or go to the bathroom. He's been sitting a while.
It's all.
I was in the camera, that was great.
I'm on that diet too.
So funny. Every time I see
Dude. No. I'm saying that like that's trauma. I know.
I have photos
I didn't find out about this. I didn't prepare anything. I found something. How'd you get?
Because the popsicle was really good.
Stop saying that. It's not funny. It's funnier to just say two girls one podcast.
Sexy. We're just two girls on one podcast.
I'm giving this to Sarah. I don't know what it is, but it's
Hello, live stream.
I doubt anybody's watching. We're actually here on a mission. I've heard over there, but I was like, oh, is it a person block? Because that's the faculty part. I was like, I'm just part of the faculty part because I said, what are they going to do? Yeah. I have an Ambrose faculty sticker, so. She was like, can't even see her. I was like, I ended up going home. So what?
This way.
All your stuff? It's crazy deal.
I said, maybe still not that was a big I won't be joking.
So real. Girl liquor.
I'm trying to get my bandage to switch to Rainbow Pages.
I've been meaning to switch Rainbow Pages. I did
I also like live my life day by day. So it's like, I have to edit that one. Break leg. I cannot believe there was like 4 people who were like, oh, I'm going to you're going there. And Emily was like, are you going out Saturday? They'll do that a lot. Like, Greg shared. No. And people were like, so like, what's it about? I was like, did you not listen?
Yeah, the piece.
It's clear. I'm clear. My dear friends.
And you're like, it's pretty.
Yeah, someone also was like, and I'm like, they were like floating around it, and I was like, that's the Jesus gay as fuck. And they were like, I was like, yeah, that's for the community that we had to You never know the any ones. Really?
Yeah.
When did you?
I don't remember. It was definitely anyway. There was a wasp in our room today. I did tell you it, and I'm saying it's okay.
I did not hear. You told me.
Anyways, there was a wasp in the classroom, and my friend turns to me and goes, "Yeah, this is the universe of
So we're gonna get started again here in a second.
Oh, see, you did hear
It's
it.
all good.
We just wait patient.
Living my best life right now, Jamie. Gotta give a shout out for Free Mom Hugs for providing stickers and Pride Flag opportunities. Give them a round of applause. Honestly, you can take an egg if you want. Oh my gosh, right across.
Because yours here.
I do appreciate you. I hope everybody's been having a great time so far.
Hell yeah.
Got some resources and all that good stuff. And we have some more readers, so give it up for the next batch of readers. We added quite a few to the list, which makes me really happy. I'm super excited to announce our next reader of the evening. I've known them since I was a literal baby, so that's crazy in itself. And they actually helped me create this website, so we appreciate them and all they do. Give it up for Ava Miller.
Hi, I'm Ava. If you've submitted to Rainbow Pages at all, then I have emailed you and you've probably emailed me back. So, and if you do submit to Rainbow Pages, you will probably be emailing me. So nice to see you all and nice to hopefully email you. I'm going to be reading two pieces tonight. Both are from the Atlas 15, which JD already promoted the Atlas. We love Midwest Writing Center here. But yeah, so this first one is called The Wheel, and it is after a song called Die the Flu by Deftones. Don't remember where we've been or how long we were there. All I know is you're ugly when you're asleep. Seconds, minutes, hours ago, your lips were pressed to mine. Now your mouth hangs open against the glass. Thank God for small favors, you're finally quiet. You're drooling on the passenger side window. And yes, I realize how unsafe this is. It's weighing on me more than the weight I feel pressing down on my eyelids. If I knew I could wake you, I would scream to you until all I could get out was the ugly sound of brakes struggling against gravel. My voice sounded coarse, the saliva burned like oil, but I lacked the confidence in myself. And you could forgive me, but I never could. So your burning eyes still rest, and I'm still driving. I should have stopped half an hour ago, 2 hours ago, but I can't remember what a stoplight looks like anymore. Sometimes I think you shine too bright for this world, and the speed limit sign saying 65 miles per hour leans down, takes 10 and 2, and whispers in my ear, I agree. But the numbers on my speedometer reach for greater heights. They saw you and they knew they wanted to be just like you one day. They want to be stars in the night sky. The 105 flies up and each number becomes one component of Orion's belt. And I can't admit to myself that just this once you were right, but I need you. I need you to tell me where to go. The roadmap is long gone, shredded in my tattered memory. Can't see it, can't see anything, and the gas tank is still full somehow. I realize how unsafe this is. We can't stop. Physically cannot stop. It's almost like I've got something to prove. Hilarious, right? I thought I could protect you, but I can only become you as my mouth hangs open in a silent scream like yours and my eyes shield me from what's to come. We both know we lack the strength to confront it. My head falls forward and sleep will overtake me. Your head lolls back and you don't realize it. You can't. but in minutes I will be joining you. When we spin in circles and our heads feel full of thoughts and memories and the gas from the tank, and I still haven't made up my mind, but at least the world won't conflict with you anymore. And tomorrow or the next day, they'll find our broken bodies out here and wonder why we couldn't stop when we were so close to town. Thank you. All right, this next poem is a lot happier than that one. It's also based on a true story. This one's called Concert Crasher. The only audience member who doesn't have a ticket makes his way in. He's been here for 3 out of the 4 nights, and the paying customers resent him. Security has been notified, but there's not much they can do. He's too fast for security. Even if they could catch him, they can't grab his arms and throw him out. He has rights too, just not the kind we always recognize. The performers speak about him backstage in hushed whispers. It had been hard to miss him. He's practically been in their faces. Tonight they file out onto the stage and into the pit, prepared but unwilling to confront him again. The first song begins, but he's shifty, he's clever. He lies in wait and watches from the rafters. He knows how to play the crowd. This stupid little bugger. There is no instrument he dislikes, as long as they don't make a mistake. That would just ruin the whole show. The trumpet sticks with him especially, so he sticks with the trumpet player. He's not a fan of jazz piano, though. Maybe he'll get in the pianist's face and give him a piece of his mind. He loves the choirs. They're who he came for, after all. He weaves in and out of each line. Sopranos gasp, altos swear, tenors and basses stop cold when they see him, but he doesn't care. The conductors are doing all they can not to notice him. Even though the choirs would appreciate it if the directors called him out, they all know that doing so during a song would be unprofessional. Eventually, the crowd files out. Everyone wonders how he's managed to get in for 3 nights, especially during the winter. All the other wasps are dead. It's a wonder that he outlasted all of the other pests. He ignores them. There's no way he could miss the Christmas pageant. He had heard nothing but rave reviews, and he can confirm that the 3 nights have been spectacular. He flies back up into the rafters to lie in wait, ready to enjoy the show all over again.
I don't think I've ever spoken to our next reader, but I'm excited to hear what they are going to perform for us. Give it up for Amber.
Hello, I'm in Dr. Lee's poetry class, and the first poem I'm going to read, I actually wrote it in my creative writing class in high school, and our teacher always told us if we didn't know what to write about writing poetry, and I didn't know there was a name for that until I was in Dr. Lee's class, and it's called the Ars Poetica, and so the title of this is Soiled Poetry. Dirty poetry lies here on my page, muddled and tactless, spoken with compassion. When did I become so cruel, so judgmental, so unforgiving? I am not sure who I am, and live in fear that I will never know. The insecurities ran over my pen, curbing the ink to spell out animosities. The past is a cruel tyrant, grasping me in a headlock, morphing the present. It's funny how memories change over time, right? I once heard we shed ourselves over time, and every 7 years we are anew. In 2 years I will be new again. I will be shiny, I will be a brand new girl. Maybe then my poetry will be clean, my thoughts clean, my words clean. But until then, I will carry my tangled brain on my shoulders and write my soiled poetry. So the next poem I want to share, it's called an abecedarian. So it's kind of hard to hear when it's read, but if you read the poem, the first letter of each line is in the alphabet. So this one is called Cardinal Abecedarian. A cardinal rests on a branch of the willow tree, checking out the little brown dog who looks up to it with curiosity. Everyone in my family says that cardinals are a gift. They say they are loved ones who have passed away. I like to believe in that. Just a small reminder that someone knows you. I always look for cardinals when I come home. My mom told me about this belief. Never had I heard it before, but when she told me, it has never left. Proof of guardian angels. Qualms I once had get removed at the sight of that little red bird. Up on my branch sits the visitor. I see it high up on the willow. The little brown dog barks from below. a xenophile at heart, always searching for something new, yearning for a companion, and zealous in its pursuit of the little red bird singing its song.
Thank you, Amber. So before I get into our next reader, I was wondering who has never been to an open mic before, out of curiosity? Oh, so wow. Well, welcome. And how many of you this is your first reading that you've read at of that group? No? All right. I was just curious. Yeah. So our next reader is Allison. Give it up for Allison.
I don't do poetry stuff, but I dabble. I like naming things. I'm a big fan of the one name title, so that's what we're getting tonight. My first one is called Abysmal. 16 years old, walking around the halls of my high school, nothing hindering my stride. Happiness swells from my soul like a candle in the wind. Candle in the wind. My favorite Elton John song at 16 years old. Singing to myself whilst getting ready in the morning, doing my hair, makeup, picking out clothes, but how do I look? I don't know, the mirrors are gone. Out of my room, avoided at all costs. The feeling when I see what that mirror holds, the reality of who I am. The sinking feeling of what they've said. Lose the weight, cut your hair. Someday you'll be pretty. But while that feeling surrounds me like the abyss that has grown, I find myself searching for who I was when I was 16 years old. And I have one more, it's called Home. 6 hours. That's how long it takes to go home. It's such a funny word now, isn't it? How I long for home, that sinking feeling in my chest, forgetting what to do and who I am. While working and working and working to find a reason to stay, it hurts, Mama. It hurts to do everything I'm supposed to do. It hurts to live. My friends see me falling from my place, as Lucifer fell from heaven for loving Lilith too much. The way I let myself fall from loving him too much. Him. My safety, my grounding, my earth, my music, my home. He reminds me that home can be people, and home reminds me that it's okay to simply be not okay. Thanks.
Our next reader is also in Rebecca Lee's poetry class, and I'm excited to see what he has to read. Give it up for John. Enter the writing circle.
Thank you, everyone. So I have two different poems here. The first one, I'm technically cheating. This first one is a poem in 6 parts, so technically there's 7, but I'm going to count the first one. The poem is called Acceptance. It's in 6 parts. And just a little preface, I tried to approach this one with each poem being in a different form, different style of composition, just trying to branch things out, but to tell a cohesive story throughout, that being of acceptance of one's own gender identity and how that affects everything that happens in their own life. So this is acceptance. 1. The first time I learned of a trans person was the Seahorse Father on TV. He was a medical anomaly to me then. I was 7. The second time I learned of a trans person was through FaceTime, a 7-hour call with the only person who knew me and the first to really know me. I was 17. The third time I learned of a trans person was on the floor at my grandparents' house, drawing swirls on my hand in neon markers. December 17th, I had just turned 18. 2. Christmas lights drive through. Tune into 98.7 FM. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. I stick my head out the roof. Hold on tight, don't fall out, don't hit your head on the strings above. I smile for what feels like the first time. 3. He had just finished a blunt he rolled hours earlier, or maybe it was one he bought. I didn't partake. He asked me how I first realized. I had no answer to give him. There were no lessons to learn, no thoughts to be had, empty realizations, colored marker on dry skin. The stars vibrating, the wind penetrating, the company unlike anything I had known. my hand held, tear dropped from eyes to chest. Oh, how wonderful it is to be known. 4, the first time we took a picture together, squeezed each other, muscles locked, smiled. I kissed your eyes, asked you what you wanted to hear, expressed myself. You held my hand, felt so proud of a near stranger, made me love myself. 5, the Trevor Project website, 100 loving words. A discussion to be held later, decisions to make when older. 6, personal thoughts carry no weight when expressed wiser in 2013 by another lonely, expressive poet with an email address, internet connection, and desire to be seen. How glorious it is to know that I am unoriginal, that I am not, nor will I ever be, alone. Thank you. And I have one more. This one's called One Way. I think it'll be pretty obvious once you hear what it's about. Shackled to the bed, he sits on my thighs, licks his fingers, he smiles. His eyes caress my skin. They look beyond the tremble deep beneath my skin that wants to break free. Shackled to the chair, he holds a deep, cherry wood violin. Secrets from the divine swim from the depths of his register, his cheeks filled with blood, his eyes caress my skin. Shackled in his car, his Mormon Tabernacle Choir cassette thrown to the ground, lost amongst scattered cups now long empty. His hand grazes my thighs, he pulls over. Shackled as I stand, tears run down his face as he pulls me close. His hand touches my skin, leaves me loose, melting, dissolving away. I die on the ground, liquid chained where he left me. Shackled to his arms, his smirk when he sees me across the room, his pointed finger as it grazes metal string, his lips, the way he toys with my weight, my life, my happiness, his warmth, how he makes me weightless, how he moves on when I'm gone. Thank you. Oh.
What's your connection to St. Olaf?
What?
What's your connection to St. Olaf?
My aunt gave me this shirt.
Oh, nice. That's where I went to college.
Connection to St. Olaf?
What?
Do you have a connection to St. Olaf?
That's where I went to college.
Oh,
If people
my
want to
cousin's
read
a prof.
again and have more pieces, you can add your name to the
Eric
list,
Maynell.
but
He's a
otherwise,
math
give it up for our next reader, Charlie.
Hello. I did not know this was happening until today, so I didn't have anything prepared, but luckily I was able to scavenge 2 poems that I had earlier written. So yeah, I'll be reading 2, complete opposites of each other. This first one will be a sci-fi poem I wrote in Dr. Tucker's class last fall last year. This one's called Malignus Fructus, or Bad Apple. All right, so. There are those who labor on the edge of space, steep, deep, down in the dark rooms with mechanized light, absent flesh or skin, metal overlays their face, and without grace, they make many matters from taboo. Dusty metal fortresses spike from the ground to make their home, keep, creep, over blasphemous work against God. Their knowledge is elder and ripe from archaic tome. Ever does their power grow, soon it'll reach its height. They construct wicked within dark cathedrals of science, reap sheep, and orchestrate Gothic dirges through grandiose pipe organs. Man, metal machine, eternal body alliance, always there looking for parts to mod. Just one bite will baptize the galaxy anew. That's number 1. And then completely opposite. This one I wrote as kind of like a folk song to put in my fantasy story. This one's called Scarecrow Joe. Keek, 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 Keek goes the crow when the moon starts to drop and the mist starts to grow. You know, you'll have to go. Go wash, whistle, wishing when the sun bids you home. Screak, screak, scrack, go Scarecrow Joe. The foresters feel through the air. And, oh, I read that wrong. I got my pace off. Second verse. Screak, screak, scrack, go Scarecrow Joe. The foresters to feel through the air. And now, waving in the wind, there's crops to sow. Down, down, down the old water well. The feeling keeps it filling and makes the bucket spill. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. I love that. We have some music. We are down to our last two, which makes me sad because I could be here for a while listening to all of your guys' work. So give it up for Chow, who is also in Rebecca Wee's poetry class. Hi, I'm gonna read two poems. One is from Ocean Vuong. He's a Vietnamese American, and I really like his all of his work. And another one is from me. So Kissing in Vietnamese by Ocean Vuong. My grandmother kisses as if bombs are bursting in the backyard, where mint and jasmine lace their perfumes through the kitchen window, as if somewhere a body is falling apart and flames are making their way back through the intricacies of a young boy's hide, as if to work out the door, your torso would dance from exits once. My grandmother kisses, there would be no flashy smooching, no Western music of her lips. She kisses as if to breathe you inside her, nose pressed to cheek, so that your scent is relearned and your sweat pearls into drops of gold inside her lungs, as if while she holds you. Death also is clutching your wrist. My grandmother kisses as if the story never ended, as if somewhere a body is still falling apart. Another one is from me. So what we did in the class is that 21 of us, we wrote 21 words on the board, and we have to collect all of these words and made it into a poem. My irrational fears. I kept a collection of my irrational fears in a binder. Dear every single person I matched with on Tinder. A cantankerous guy stretched my emotion like his pizza dough. A temporary to let him tickle my feet. Spirited guy expound my existential crisis by saying, "Good for you." A straightforward guy requested me to sit on his lap. A romantic guy flabbergasted me by inviting me to sing in a marriage ship with him. A mysterious guy turned me into a ghost with his honey goodbyes. A busy guy lollygagged in my chat box a quarter of his day. A privileged guy commented on my chaotic life while standing on his dollar hill. And maybe a panacea for all my irrational fears is a girl in her silky lilac dress coming to refresh my Tinder. But for anyone who hasn't checked out our website, we have these little QR codes, so please pick them up. I think there's some over on the table over there. Feel free to take any of the stuff that is left over there, because that means I don't have to take it back to my apartment, so I would appreciate it. But sadly, we are at our last reader of the night, unless anybody else wants to go. But if not, give it up for Victoria.
Hi, I'm Dr. Doug. Okay, if I did too.
Yes, you have the stage forward. That means you get to take another egg too.
The one that I'm gonna read first isn't one that I wrote. It's one from a book that Professor Wheat gave me. And I've just been able to find a lot of different types of poetry that I'm not like used to seeing here. I just like the variety. But this one is called Dead Butterfly. Dead empress of winged things, weightless flake of flight. You rest in state on my desk, more delicate and flatter than the scrap of foolscap you lie on. Flatter even than my dad's voice when he was mad like death. Anger drained him of color, but his temper was gentle. Flare-ups were rare, and of course, non-existent now, since he was found, lifeless in a bed. A cut on his head, how did he make it down the hall? After he fell, do you think? Homing instinct? The undersides of your wings have elongated spots, silver iridescences, whose shapes vary like globs of oil floating on water. Your 3 visible legs are tiny whiskers, slightly curved. Your head is a majestic black seed. I fetch my magnifying glass to view your life form, so difficult to glimpse, except fleetingly while in motion. For 12 days, I have selfishly kept you for private study on a corner of my desk. You seem a saint, remaining uncorrupt, obligingly intact. Perhaps your oranges, yellows, and blacks are imperceptibly dimming, but I can't see it yet. You look fresh. I long to pet, but now you would crumble to dust like pollen on my fingertips. Dead monarch, will you ferry my dead father a missive in which I admit he was right about everything, my cousin's sham marriage and 9/11, about how no one should never eat a loveless meal, about craving more time alive, about the eternity of our ends.
Power to the poet.
Which poet was it? Or?
I said power to the poet.
Power to the poet.
Yes, power to the poet.
And then this one, I was trying to stall a little bit because I was waiting for somebody to show up, but I don't see them yet. But this poem was written by maybe a person who wants to stay anonymous, but she gave me permission to read it for her, and she wrote this as a poem to her brother when she was very young, and it just makes me laugh so much. So this, yeah. Matt, you're like a big balloon filled with golden love. Matt, you are like a big teddy bear that has wings and was sent from above. Matt, you are so soft, so kind, so warm. Every child wants your care. So soft, so kind. Every child, everywhere. Matt, you are academically extraordinarily great because you are so smart. Matt, you are as amazing as a diamond is strong. Matt, you should be in a museum because your whole life is a work of art. Matt, you watch me as an eagle every day, all day long. Matt, there are some things I haven't seen. Matt, your mouth keeps running. You never shut up. You're so cruel, so harsh,
and so mean, and that's why I beat you up. That is why I beat you up. Matt, you are so beautiful, so bright. You are a shooting star. Matt, you are a shooting star, shining bright and shooting far.
Yes. Take an egg for your friend. The power of live stream. It's on there forever now. We have one more request. Keela is coming back to our stage. Two more poems. I know you saved some for him. I'm going to say that. No.
Just argue with that, I guess.
Okay, so I've just been going through it lately, man. Life's hard. But this one has a title. It's called Reborn. I don't think there's any content warning for this one. Don't quote me. I don't remember what I write. I just read it. Okay. That familiar taste of poison seeps into my mouth. It drips down the back of my throat, and I wonder, am I overthinking this? I've tasted freedom, and I want to keep it, but I know it is hidden under the trees. This part of me, I hide behind a lock and key nobody else gets to see, and I can't read your mind. But I wonder what runs through it. Because if it's anything like mine, it's a dark place. I can burn as much incense and smell like sage all I want, but no amount of sunlight and photosynthesis can cause this to go away. We desensitize and reprocess my eyes, hoping that one day I can look back and be okay. But how am I supposed to be okay when none of this was okay? How am I supposed to go back? How am I supposed to bend and flip and snap like a goddamn acrobat? I'm not asking to be saved, but please make sure I stay sober. If you think that I can't shut up, you're wrong. If you say the word, I will never speak again. I will lie here and I will rot. I will decompose. And you will never see me again. And they will try to revive me. They will take the most extraordinary measures. But I will never return. Because the girl that you knew and loved is gone. She died. And emerging from that bright white light, you'll find them in a red dress and wings brighter than you can imagine. Because the phoenix always rises from the ashes, stronger and more powerful and different. She's not the girl that you loved anymore. They are everything and more reborn. This next one, it's sappy. It's called Sitting on the Doorstep of Home. I curl up into your shoulder. My lungs are heavy, I am breathless. You hold me tight. You see me vulnerable. You've seen the tears fall from my eyes. You wipe them to the side and you told me that it would be okay. You helped me rationalize. My head is spinning out of control. You put your hands on my shoulders and ground me back to earth. When I am overstimulated, you give me a hug. A long and tight hug that allows me to stop and breathe. People ask me what I see in you. Everything. Because although I see the part you play with other people, I see a spark. I see the fire within you when you are passionate, even when people only see you for a dramatic flare. I see the drama. I see the flame. I see the vulnerability. I see the hurt. I see all the love that you have. I see that you are human. I see the safety. Home, even. They say that you know you love someone when their temples smell like home. When we are able to completely embarrass ourselves in front of each other and just laugh about it. When I've seen you vulnerable. When we're able to take off the masks that we wear for others when we are alone. When I was in severe pain, you held me, cared for me, loved me regardless, even though I know I didn't look very pretty.
and we had a conversation that was really hard, but you didn't make me feel ashamed or embarrassed for having problems. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I love you. And even if we're young, and even if we're making mistakes, we are learning. And I'm happy to be learning with you. And even if I'm jumping the gun, even if my daydreams are far-fetched, I'm happy to be so content when I'm curled up, resting my head on your shoulder, sitting on the doorstep of home. I'll talk now.
I know you read some of those on the air, so I'm so happy that you get to hear them.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, welcome back to the stage, Mimi.
This one's called The Sit Down. It's based on literally a true story with my mom, a gay woman. So in high school, I was telling my friend, oh, I think I'm gay, because I was questioning my sexuality back then. And she heard that and she sat me down and I denied everything because she's, a very religious woman. So it's kind of about that. You sat me down one day in my room to talk to me about some things you heard me say. Your face was full of gloom that I might possibly be gay. You told me things I did not agree on. I let it go through one ear and out the other. You told me if this phase was never gone, you would stop being my mother. I acted as if what you said didn't affect me one bit, but on the inside I bled. I could feel my heart split. I wanted to be honest, but I knew that I couldn't. Because of the bad things that you promised, I knew that I shouldn't. I'll never forget that sit down. It's engraved in my head. That's why I'll forever drown in all the tears. It's a little sad. And then the other one, it's called Suffering in Silence. I'm also kind of going through it, and I think poetry is just a great way to just let some of those emotions out, So it goes. There's days I love to be alone, and others which I'm scared to. I wish sometimes I was a clone. Too bad that can't be true. My thoughts consume me, like a house being swept by a hurricane. I want my mind to be free from all the ruin and the pain. My brain eats at me every day, like worms in an apple. Sometimes my mind feels like it's clay. To think like that is really a hassle. I'm always suffering in silence. I hate feeling like a pity. No matter what the guidance, I will never feel pretty. The thoughts I want to escape keep me locked in a cage. Sometimes I wish I could reshape the things that got me to this stage.
Thank you for sharing. It was Hazel. Hazel's been our little emotional support. Before I announce, Morgan C would like to read, but I also wanted to, do you want to go first or do you want me to read it first?
Oh, no, you read it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so this piece is based off of a piece from the Atlas 15. It's called Graveyard Rebirth, and I wrote it when I was going through some tough times with friends of mine. Anyways, enjoy. I am unglued. Simply, I am sat here Mod Podging my body together with bits of multicolored tissue paper until my stained glass window of a heart is hung up for the congregation to see. The stragglers in the congregation, the ones at the back of the chapel, tell me they understand, but they are liars, clinging to the bonds that once were earthbound but now closed caskets and dust. They came to the service to make amends for themselves and their unjust actions. Not for me, because I'm a side character in the redemption, so what weight does my opinion have? I should have trusted that feeling deep within my aging bones because they left me. Left me, but not before they doused me in gasoline and lit our friendship alive. For all my years of tears and fears and putting up with their shit, they left me. After years of dealing with their mind-breaking brain rot, they had enough. For varying reasons, we outgrew each other. You'd think that would make me miserable, and frankly, for a while it did. When you're 17, however, there's only your high school lunch table. When you're 20, there's an unlimited world out there full of people who found me worthy of receiving the same love I gave so freely for so long. I'd gotten selected before, like the ravens at church for trinkets and shiny things left as offerings. selective in what shiny parts of me I allowed out of my cage. But then the angels came, comforted me, and brought love and light back in. It felt natural to trust them. I once again didn't fear like I had before. Plus they listened to me where others interrupted. They hold me closely when I cry, making me laugh until those tears became joyous. Take me to amazing places and help with my confidence and style, both which grow with their love and praise. Give me hope when it feels like I'm falling apart. Keep me hopeful for a future that once wasn't a part of the plan. The plan being non-existent and finally being put to paper. For I am, well, I was 20. For I am now 21 and I still don't know a lot about the world, but I have begun to escape the graveyard, have begun to ascend upwards to where I have found a home with those who want me there. The angels who enjoy me for the woman I am, not the girl the others want me to stay. They want old bones. I have a new soul. The congregation doesn't have to understand. I don't care if they do. Thank you. And then, of course, I'm going to announce Morgan Seed. Give it up.
I told my ex-girlfriend I was going to this, and she was like, "Oh, you should read the book one." So this is The Theory by Richard Steinman. A man walks into a bar and says, "Take my wife, please." So you do. You take her out into the rain and you fall in love with her. And she leaves you and you're desolate. You're on your back in your undershirt, a broken man. On an ugly bedspread, staring at the water stains on the ceiling. And you hear the man in the apartment above you taking off his shoes. You hit the floor and you're looking up. You're waiting. Because you thought it would follow. You thought there would be some logic, perhaps something to put it all together. But here we are in the weeds again. Here we are. In the bowels of the thing, your world doesn't make sense. And then the second proof falls, and then a third, a fourth, a fifth. A man walks into a bar and says, "Take my wife, please," but you take him instead. You take him home and make him a cheese sandwich, and you try to get his shoes off, but he kicks you, and he keeps kicking you. You swallow bottles, sleeping pills, but they don't work. Boots continue to fall on the floor in the apartment above you. You go to work the next day pretending nothing happened. Your coworkers ask if everything's okay, and you tell them you're just tired. And you're trying to smile, and they're trying to smile too. A man walks into a bar, you this time, and says, "Make it a double." A man walks into a bar, you this time, and says, "Walk a mile in my shoes." A man walks into a convenience store, still you, says, "I only want something simple, something generic." But the clerk tells you to buy something or get out. A man takes his sadness down to the river and throws it in the river, but he's still left with the river. A man takes his sadness and throws it away, but he's still left with his hands.
With that, I guess that concludes our meeting, so give it up for everyone who's read I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know that it's really busy with it being spring semester, and some of you don't even go here, so thank you to our Amherst friends and outside of Amherst friends. You're welcome to hang out a little bit. Please take the stuff on the tables, take some for your friends. Because again, I don't want to take them back. If anyone wants eggs, there is 4 remaining. 4 eggs remaining, because I spent a lot of time on those prompts, and I'd love for people to tag me in them. You know, like, check out our Instagram. We're also on YouTube, where the recording of this reading will be posted, so you can relive it whenever you want. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Get home
Goodbye, live stream.
No.